What's going on, Aries? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an amazing week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be self-growth, Aries, and all the ways that you can embody the best qualities of your future self. I was telling Cancer, I'm still working out the kinks on that one, so bear with me there, Aries. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the word salad with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just good energy all around here, Aries. Now, Aries, with this spread, I'm going to be going until Higher Self says stop. We're just going with the flow here. Oh, and we're basking in the sun. Yes. And just so you're all aware, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. We're just working with the energies here. So just something to keep in mind of when you apply these energies to people, okay? And then lastly, the deck set I'm using. This one here is the Astro Matrix Tarot deck. And then the Oracle deck that I'll be using is the Anatomy of a Witch deck. And I'll include links for these decks and other decks that I like using down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested, Aries. But Aries, I feel like we're at this place right now, Aries, where maybe we might be feeling a little down right now. Maybe we're in this place of trying to find our happiness, which it came to the right place because I got all the sun for you to give here, Aries. But maybe we're at this place where we haven't been feeling, or at least we're trying to get to where we're feeling more maybe kind of appreciative for things. And not to say that you're not grateful or anything like that, Aries, but maybe it has been a lot going on for you here recently. I feel like that with the Nine of Swords popping up here, there's something that we've been possibly that we've been dealing with that has been, maybe have gotten into this place of where it seems like no matter what we're doing, when we're at work, when we're driving, when we're public, commuting, when we're walking, whatever, it's just like, you may be in this place where you're just all in your head right now, then whatever situation has gone down, I really feel like has gotten you questioning. Really kind of flipped your world upside down. Literally. But I also feel like it's just like, it almost feels like that you're in this place of where we're not sure where to go from here. I'm not sure if this is something that has happened with a person or if this is like us questioning. Maybe this could even be something bigger as like what makes us happy in the sense of like maybe what you're doing with your career or maybe a number of things, Aries. But here's where I'll start here. Because this is one of your cards, and even funny enough, this is the Sun in Aries. And I feel like that with this combination, just even talking about them, if we feel like we're in this place right now where maybe it seems like we've been feeling kind of stuck in that it just seems like things aren't going to get any better, maybe we feel like that our options are limited right now, that this trapped feeling, Aries. I feel like the fact that this is here and the fact that the sun is here shows me that this is not the end, Aries. This is only the beginning, but it's just that where our starting point is going to be is not ideal. And that's where I feel like we're still viewing it through this lens. And that's what's keeping us from really seeing the big picture here. That this is something where we've looped this, whatever this situation is, maybe so much, that it's become where it's permeated out in your environment. And Aries, I'm not sure how intense this situation might be for you, but it is going to be one of those things. Tackle it as it makes sense, but let's start putting action towards it. If there's been because this could be one, maybe I'm looking, thinking about this is Mars and Gemini. And I feel like that this is something where you're going to need to be yourself, be assertive with how you go about dealing with this. And what I mean by that is, if this is something where we need to, let's say, for example, if we feel like this is something that we can handle, then I would say for everything, let's say if this is like a self-esteem thing, for example. If we're in this place where we're telling ourselves like all this bad stuff here, then let's match it with something. Let's tell ourselves something good. Let's work on some positive affirmations, something. Let's breathe some sunshine into our worlds here. And I find that may be something where that might be an avenue for some of us. If this is something where maybe we may want to partner with someone, find someone close to you, whether this is like a friend, a family member, or if we need to even go a little bit further, if we need to go seek, maybe find like a professional. There is nothing wrong with that, Aries, because the swords can deal with intellectual stuff, deals with matters of the mind. And if our mental health, if we feel like our mental state is not where we don't even feel normal, because it's one thing, sometimes, like when we're in a slump like this, we're not even looking for happy, just normal would be just ideal. If we're in this place of not normal, then maybe seeking professional help, then there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, for me, someone who admits or realizes that, like, okay, I'm not, this is where I need to heal in this aspect of my life. I'm not feeling at my strongest here. That to me shows more strength than anything, than someone who's, and that's a thing too, Aries, when I'm thinking about this, when I'm talking about people, make sure we're around people who are supporting you, who are wanting you to, who are going to help you get towards this light here, that get you back on track. The nice thing too, that's just like, when I think about the sun, even when it pops up in reverse, that's the fact that, even that just means that even there's light that can be shined, that can be shined on this situation here that's within us. Because sometimes too, the Nine of Swords can lead to depression. We really, if it's, if we get to where it's been kind of chaotic and hectic all the time, that messes with us. But we can move past this, Aries. This is something where it's going to take some work. I had another point there, but it ran away from me. So I figured we need to move on to the Chariot. So it'll come back to me if it makes sense. Sorry if that was a little of a weird gap there. But I feel like that with let's talk about the Chariot. Because with the Chariot, I feel like that this is asking us to, put in that shadow work here. One on the Chariot, there's usually a dark horse and a light horse. And the darkness is not meant to be there to keep us down, Aries. It's there to bring up a fact that, or to show an area where growth wants to happen, where we can expand. Because here's the thing, light needs darkness and vice versa. In order to grow, in order to embody that best version, sometimes we need to take some sunshine and see what areas in our lives are not doing so hot, where we need to, or where we could refine here. Because if we're not putting in the work, Aries, because here's what's going to happen, we're just going to stagnate. And really, for your, when I'm thinking of your sign, this is something where, whatever this is something that you can power through, Aries, more. This is something that I find that if you were to just believe, really, that you even can get past this stuff here. Because I get where we may be feeling maybe kind of down, maybe we're feeling like we haven't been, there's nothing to, I almost feel like you feel like there's nothing to even like celebrate right now. It's just like, it's really, yeah, it's really kind of just low energy right now. And I feel like that, the universe, higher self, is trying to get us to just get us back moving again, getting that momentum more, because it's Aries. If we stay stuck in this Nine of Swords energy, it's only perpetuating the problem, and and here's the thing too, Aries. Depending on when this happened, I understand that we have to heal at our own pace, in which, definitely do that. But let's just make sure that we are taking those steps, because there is something to celebrate here. Because look at it this way, well, this might be a weird way of looking at it, but it's just like, when we start taking those steps, and when we get on the other side of it, this is going to feel so far in the past, we may not even remember when we couldn't rise up to the occasion. But this is something where we're going to need to show up for ourselves. We got to take our feelings into account here, and start showing ourselves some love and kindness and compassion, because this. And celebrate this, when we start taking those steps. Every day that we make progress, pat yourself on the back, give yourself, something, maybe go buy, I don't know, maybe like some stickers or something, and get like a calendar, and every day that, we've taken steps towards growth, bam. And then if we needed to improve, maybe write down, or maybe do like a journal, like a reflection type of thing, figure out what do we need to, what are some ways that we could have, better supported ourselves that day. Hopefully, I'm hoping this is making sense more. Let's see what else is going on for you here. And I'm looking at the Three of Cups too. This is Mercury in Cancer. And when I think of Mercury in Cancer, is a very, very kind of kind, very sweet placement, for Mercury to be. And I feel like that might be some of like, something too, that we might need in our lives, Aries. Maybe just breathing some sweetness into our lives, and some nurturing sounds into our realm, and just remind ourselves just how fantastic you are, and how vivacious you are, and what you can accomplish here. Because really, Aries, it feels like that it's just like, and I feel like we know this stuff here. The fact that even like the Sun and the Chariot is here, I feel like we know that it's time to, start taking steps towards healing. But maybe some of us might be, I don't want to say we're afraid of taking the steps, like the healing, but maybe we're worried about what it means to be healed from this thing. Maybe this is something where, I'm not sure, Aries. That's something where I feel like we're gonna need to wrestle with this, and to really kind of sit down with this thing. Don't wrestle with it, sit with it, be kind with it, love it. Yeah, no more wrestling. let's be kind, because I feel like that with Nine of Swords, again, Mars and Gemini, this type of energy is like we're living this moment, and we're being, it's aggressive, we're being all consumed in it. And I almost feel like this is too, when I think this is more astrology according to Justin, but I feel like if we were to take this energy, your energy, Mars, and think about it from a different perspective. Gemini is a duality, and if we've been operating from this way, and I get it, if we've been stuck in this way, it'll take a minute to get there. But, again, try promoting some kindness into our world here, and watch, and it's not like, I was going to say, it's not even like I'm asking you to fake it till you make it, but if that's where we need to be, positivity, it's one of those, it gives us in a place when we're operating from a positive mindset, then whatever this thing that's going down, we can approach it from a clearer head, as opposed to if we try to operate from this space here, you're just operating with our world in reverse here. You know, it's going to make the healing trickier, as opposed to if we work with these energies and do more things that are going to uplift us, you know, that is going to just, you know, your self-growth, I really feel like is going to be, I feel like affirmations would be one that I really feel like would greatly benefit you in this. You know, there's an app that I like using. I just downloaded it not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago. It's called I Am. And they have like your own, you can curtail it, you can purchase it if you want. I have the free version, and you can, you know, it gives you more, you can tailor stuff, your messages, but even the free version is really nice. You can make your own. I usually, you know, when I feel stuff, you know, I make my own affirmations, but they have a bunch of affirmations you can include as well. They even have it where you can tailor what words we don't want to include, just random stuffs like that. Be aggressive, Aries. You know, when it comes to positivity and, you know, like uplifting yourselves, you know, come up with some, you know, some ideas, you know, think, you know, let's get to, you know, brainstorming, you know, think about some ways that we can start moving out of this energy here, so that again, we can start doing some healing, you know. Any more? Okay. We're going to get on to some oracle cards here, Aries. But yeah, this is an interesting one, kind of little intense, you know, but I feel like we might have been, and here's something too, Aries, because I feel like that maybe some of us might be in this place with all this, yeah, that we might need to move some, you know, because I'm getting this just with how some of the stuff is here. I feel like maybe some of us, maybe we've been kind of cooped up in one area, you know, if we've been locked up in our rooms and, you know, there hasn't been a lot of light. You know, you got the cleanse card in reverse here to start with your oracle cards. And that's where I feel like, you know, if there's been any sort of like clutter that's going down, you know, that's a good place to start if our safe space has been neglected. Start there, you know, just start doing some light cleaning. You don't have to, and again, you know, we don't have to be super aggressive there, but at least just start taking something, just more energy than what we're pouring in right now, more. And I feel like that's just somewhere, you know, maybe even, and it can even be smaller than that if we're looking for little wins, you know, maybe even getting up and like, you know, making the bed or oh, there's so many things, but even now that see the sound card popped up here, be very mindful, I feel like, of sound, what we're telling ourselves, one, another, what we're listening to. Because here's the thing, you know, where I'm not trying to diminish your jam, music is very powerful. If we're listening to things that are promoting this sort of like 9 of energy, sort of low vibrational type of stuff. You know, it's one thing if the music is helping, is healing, but if it's just keeping us in that energy, so that's something to be mindful of, Aries. Because let me tell you something, a little bit about me. There was a time when I wrote this years ago, I had taken some time off to write an album. And, you know, I was just feeling creative, something I wanted to do for a while. And then finished it and then went back to work, and I was, you know, debating about doing stuff with it. And I'm actually glad that I didn't, because I was listening to it later, like maybe a few months ago. And when I listened back to it, it was coming from I was singing from 9 of Swords, absolutely. It was coming from a very hurt place. And to think too, there was even a moment when I was jamming to it on top of that, just promoting the 9 of Swords. And that's something to be mindful of, Aries. Be aware what you're telling yourself, because what I was telling myself, when I think back on it, that was my world that I was reflecting. I got everything that I was looking for. Was it, you know, and it's just something to be aware of anymore, because it can, it affects us, Aries. It's, and I hope you know too, Aries, that it's not like I'm saying that when we're talking about this energies, you know, when I'm saying what you're telling yourself, it's like, it's not that I'm saying this is, you know, you're the cause of this situation. But Aries, we do have some responsibility in this. And I say we being all of us whenever we get into situations like this, because granted, you know, the situation has happened. It may have gotten us feeling some kind of way, but that doesn't mean we have to stay stuck in that energy. It's past. You know, the situation is done. You know, no matter what went down. Those two? Okay. Oh, look at that, Aries. You get a treat here. We're switching back over. But things have gone down, Aries, and at some point too, you know, we are responsible for our reality, for our world. So we can take this, we can choose, and hear me out, we can choose to stay in this and be with it, because I get it, if you got to heal with it, to understand it, you know, make sense of it, but don't wallow in it. You know, we want to get to this place where we check in with ourselves, and it's just like, are we ready to heal? Have we gotten the lessons from this here? And then when we feel like it's time, start making that transition, that death card, you know, that evolution, that metamorphosis, you know, because it might have felt like you this really was the end. You know, you might have felt just rock bottom, that we just wanted to curl into a ball and not be bothered. But when we take this initiative and to heal here, Aries, look at you growing into a big old mighty tree, because that's what happens when we apply sunshine to things. We heal. And then too, you got the witch lungs, when we breathe some air into, you know, get some fresh air and, you know, start feeling revitalized again. You know, that energy comes it's renewed. Look at this. This looks to me like a breath of spring. You know, this is you getting your life force back, you know, and shedding that old skin, Aries, and allowing yourself to be free of that. And listen, it's going to be one of those, even when I think about like how reptiles shed skin sometimes, you know, they're going to be, sometimes it comes off, you know, for the most part, it might be real smooth how that comes out. But every now and again, there might be some like residual stuff that still need to get worked out. You might need to rub it up against it, you know, put a little pressure, but it's all going towards that greater purpose, that sunlight, you know, getting to that normalcy again, that happiness. So just something to be mindful of, you know, when we're going through energies like this. You know, you know, I would never rush anyone or anything or tell you what to do. You know, be with this as long as you need to. But when you've made sense of it, you know, we do at some point, it's time to put one foot in front of the other. And it may not be as explosive as you normally go about it. It may not be that full-on enthusiasm right off the bat there, but that'll come, Aries, because you're learning too. You're getting out of this. This has changed you some. You know, maybe I'm not saying anything real drastic, but there's something has happened from this. You know, we've learned from this situation. So just something to be mindful of, you know, and it's going to take a little adjusting, but you will adjust. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there, and I hope that made sense. You know, that was an interesting one, a little more somber than I had planned on, but the fact that the sun and the chariot is here, because even look at how the sky's clearing on this chariot here. The sunlight is coming, Aries. So if you like that, you know, give it a thumbs up. And if you know someone who's going through this, Aries, let's share this, you know, because sometimes it's, you know, even though we may not be going through like similar situations per se, I may not be able to relate to the exact situation. On some degree, we can all relate to Nine of Swords. You know what I mean? On a base level. And I feel like it's, remembering that. Because sometimes, too, I feel like that when we talk about the things that are hurting us, we try to almost make it like a competition. Well, it's like, well, I get your hurt, but my hurt's worse, so you don't get it. And it's just like, that's not the point. The point is to make sense of this. It's just like, I'm hurting. I understand you're hurting. And just because my, like the situations may be degrees like this, but it still hits the same. You know what I mean, Aries? I hope that makes sense. So just when we share this, I feel like that this is something that we could all use a little. It's nice to know that or sometimes it's nice to know that there are others who have been through this, or maybe be going through the same things. I think sometimes we forget that sometimes, that we all we see, with like social media and stuff. It's like all you're getting is a snapshot of all the goodness, but we're not getting snapshots of the shadow work, as well. So just something to be mindful, or just, something to think about, Aries. And while you're doing all that thinking, that gave you plenty enough time to subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notified when I release videos each week. And then social media for fun. Maybe this will kind of lighten up the mood a little bit. So turns out I am so savvy. I've been thinking about Facebook and stuff, but I am on this app, Insight Timer. I've been on it for years, and I had decided maybe months ago to post my link on the app, on like my profile. Hopefully you can't hear that, or that siren's not too loud. But come to find out, I get a message from someone like a few days ago. They're like, hey, subscribe to your channel and all this stuff. I was just like, look at me on social media. And this is actually a good point too, when I was talking about the things we tell ourselves. Because I don't know depending on how long you've been with me, I used to tell myself all the time, like I always had tech problems, I'm such a Luddite, blah, blah, blah. And you saw what happened. It was like I would lag, and then there would be weird camera stuff, mic stuff, and it was just like, what's going on? But the second I stopped saying that and, being aware of what we're telling ourselves, I don't think I've had a camera problem in a long time. I don't plan on having any more camera problems. And it just goes to show you that we are more than we make of our situations, and that that I know that's not quite the same, but it's incredible how even like in the littlest of ways, the things we tell ourselves become real. And if we start telling ourselves like now I'm telling myself, look how tech savvy I am. I'm all up on social media and all that stuff, in which I am. I'm on Insight Timer app. Send me a thanks for meditating with you. I am I'm on there daily. But just goes to show you, Aries. And then lastly, because, Aries, not that you needed a ticket, but you got the best ticket in the house to come on over to the Chariot and Friends. But the Chariot and Friends are for those of you if you have any Cancer in your placement. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars placement. It don't matter, Aries. Come on over. We discuss lunar shenanigans. When the Chariot pops up, bet I lose it. And it's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. Wow. All right, we're going to end on a deep note here, Aries. Got the Wheel of Fortune. And then, lunar shenanigans. And this is actually really beautiful because this ties together brilliantly. Because I was going to talk about cycles, with the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is all about where we're at in a certain phase of our journey. There are going to be times when we're on top of the world here, when we're feeling at our best. There are going to be some other times when it's like things are we're kind of starting to go on the downslope here, and it's like, now we're hanging by a thread here, and then we're transforming. That's the last one. That's a skeleton. But it's to say, with this waxing and waning, this is I feel like asking you to be adaptable with this energy, that these moments right here, Nine of Swords, sure, they happen, but they're not forever. It's one of those, you get the lessons from it, and then you keep that wheel moving. You know, the wheel is going to keep on turning, and then we keep on turning as well. Sometimes we may have to slow down the rate a little bit. There are some other instances where maybe things that's just like bam, you know, might have been kind of an explosive situation that might have happened. But it's just both of these cards, I feel like it's just being aware of your energies when things are going down. You know, where is our mentality? What are we telling ourselves? How are we getting prepared for this stuff here? Because Aries, and the thing too, when you get through this, because you will, you're going to become that much stronger from it. And when it comes back around again, because listen, it always comes back around, but it comes across, you're better equipped for it. You know, each time we get better and better and better and better and better, and that's the whole point of the journey. Wheel of Fortune, you know, destiny, whatnot, all of that. It's not something that it's not like it's. How do I want to put this? This is something that we're always working on refining. You know, this is the main mission, you know, getting familiar with our energies in like a cycle, you know, and being able to adjust and work with the energies, you know, as they come up, and to put in that work and keep that momentum going to that win. So yeah, I like that, Aries. It's just keep on, you know, keep on putting in that work, you know, and showing up for yourself, because it's going to pay off in the long run. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave that there. Be safe out there, you know, which, you know, again, I don't know what degree that we're in it, but it doesn't matter. You know, if we're not feeling at our best, just be mindful, be safe, make sure we're being kind to ourselves in this time. And if you're having trouble raising the vibration, this is me putting your arm around me, and I'm going to help you raise that vibration, Aries, because the sun's right there. Sun's right there, and sometimes we do just need a little assistance, so I got you. And I will catch you on the next one later.